Welcome back to the Garmin Gravel School, where we catch up with some of our favorite gravel athletes as they head towards Unbound this year. I'm your host, Kristen Legan, and I am here today with the queen of gravel herself, Sofia Gomez Villafane. Hi, Sophia. How are you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. Excited to get to chat with you a little bit and hear about how your season's shaping up this year.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
excited to be here. So thank you.
Yeah. So, for anyone who may not know, Sophia is just a stone cold killer on the bike. And that basically includes any bike, a wide range of bikes. I think I first met you back in some cyclocross days. You've, transitioned to mountain biking and now into some more gravel side of things. So it's cool to see, such a wide range of bikes and different races that you've done pretty darn well at through the years. So, with so many wins and different, great experiences that you've had on the bike, it was really actually hard for me to go through the list and pick a few out. But just to run through the list real quick, we have you're an Olympic mountain biker, went to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. That's pretty amazing. You were the 2022 Cape Epic winner. You have a super strong background in cyclocross, mountain bike, and most of our viewers probably know you as the 2022 Unbound Gravel winner last year, where you just dominated the field. How did it feel kind of coming across that finish line in Emporia last year?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I definitely was targeting Unbound just because it's such a big deal within the cycling community and it's a big deal for Specialized. And I kind of came at it with, I talked so much smack on this race because I never wanted to be an endurance racer. I never wanted to ride my bike more than like 5 hours. And to talk a lot of shit about an event and then you have to go and do it. I was like, well, if I'm going to talk shit on an event, I'm going to also show up extremely prepared and try to win. And yeah, I just rode it with, didn't care. I went all in and, I took some really, really big risk and it paid off. And, the weather also helped me. Like it wasn't super hot, although I had been training in Tucson for all of May. So I was definitely acclimated for the heat, but the lower temperatures, the muddy conditions, the technical aspect, the rain, it just kind of added a lot more chaos to the race. And I think for me, the more chaotic an event is, the more I just thrive because you have to have that like go hard and like go until you die mentality when things are kind of crazy. And yeah, to cross that finish line and kind of give Specialized that win was and on that new program that we had started that year, it was just
Mhm.
it was as cool as it was for me. It was also a big like thank you for Specialized for believing in Russell and I, putting the program together, allowing us to continue our cycling career after Cliff Bar folded. So yeah, it was just as much for me as it was for my sponsors for sure.
Nice. Yeah, it's fun when you have the whole team behind it and get to celebrate together for that. Well, you've already, kicked off your season, been back to Cape Epic, another great showing there. And it seems like you have another big season ahead, with a lot of different types of racing as well. So what are you looking forward to this year, like in the racing and getting back into the scene of it all?
Yeah, so I think last year for me, with the first year of the Lifetime Grand Prix, kind of my first year of switching from cross country mountain biking to kind of this more endurance mountain biking, gravel racing, with my coach, we kind of just threw a lot of stuff and just see kind of like we are kind of throwing spaghetti on the wall is how I would say it, and figure out what stuck, what didn't. And I had a lot of really good races, and then I had like my summer was complete shit. So I think this year we've really, I sat down with my coach, sat down with Specialized, we talked about my goals, and we're like, okay, these are my big goals. Like, what is going to be the exact preparation that I need to achieve? And I think the biggest thing that I discovered was I just need to focus on the races that I want to race and just not fill my season with like the fluff races.
Well, it sounds like you have a big season, lots of goals, lots of plans coming up. It sounds like you've been putting in some big training miles this winter. So we're here today to talk about the Garmin Varia Radar, and just wanted to talk to you, with how many miles you're putting in on the road and on the gravel roads as well. How are you using the Varia, and what do you like about that?
Yeah, so I use it every training ride, just about, even if I ride my mountain bike. Normally, I gotta commute on the road. I don't have the one that you have. I just have like the standard one, which is a little bit slimmer, so it doesn't have the video capabilities. But what I love about this thing is so when you pair it with your Garmin, or just you could pair it with any head unit, is my understanding, but obviously
Mhm.
I run a full Garmin setup. It alerts you when you have cars behind you. So like your little screen will light up on the side and if it's orange, it means there's a car coming, and if it's red, it means that that car's coming at you really fast. And you have all these little dots that show up on the side that tell you, like, they signify a car. So sometimes you can tell, oh, it's 3 cars, 4 cars, and I'm training in Tucson where it is the city and we do have a bit of traffic. So it's kind of nice to not always have to be looking back to know that, like, if my radar is picking up something, it does mean I have something or someone
Mhm.
behind me. So it kind of makes me feel a little bit safe. And in the few times that I forget to charge it, or I switch bikes and don't grab it, I'm like, wow, it's amazing how unsafe I feel without that little blinky light.
Yeah, it's been a game changer for me too. Just I live up in the mountains, and so I spend a lot of time on trails or, just not very busy roads. And so then anytime I'm out, getting back onto the pavement, it is this, kind of a shock of like, oh yeah, there are cars around. And so having that just as a reminder of when things are coming up and just kind of to pay attention, I'm the same way where I'll, get out on a ride and be like, oh shoot, I forgot it. And I'll turn around and go back home and get it because it's just a nice, safety feature there that's good to use.
Yeah, and it's amazing,
Um,
like, when I'm doing VO2 efforts, right? Like,
mhm.
those are some of the hardest efforts you'll ever do, and you're, like,
Yeah,
head
right.
down, staring at your head unit, and sometimes you start weaving and you don't really realize it. So, like, when you have that little alert come, it's like, "Okay, like, I may be completely in the box, but I need to pay attention because there is a car behind me, so I need to make sure I'm on the shoulder," or, just, like, watch, what's going
Mhm.
around me, just pay a little bit more attention. Or, sometimes I'll use it like, "Okay, like, once that car passes me, then we're gonna pick it
Right.
up for 20 more seconds, we'll do an acceleration." I'm just, like, watching that little dot creep up closer and closer, and then once they pass me, I'm like, "Okay, like, let's go." So, yeah, it's
Nice.
safety, but it's interesting how you can also use it to motivate you,
Yeah.
um, on training a bit more too.
Yeah, that's pretty. I haven't heard that before. That's the new training plan. Sophia's new training plan is, wait for the cars to come by and then chase after them. Nice. That's cool. Yeah, one of the features that I've been using actually quite a bit lately, riding with more people, is that you can actually connect multiple Garmin's, multiple head units to one radar device. So if you're riding in a group and other people don't have one, that way you don't have to always be yelling, like car back all the time. Everybody just has that information, right there in front of them, which is pretty fun. So nice, another way to use it.
Yeah, I definitely haven't done that, and I think it's just because
Mhm.
everybody I train with actually has one.
Yeah.
So, they're
Nice.
like, and my training buddy, Ken, he's, like, former Secret Service, like,
Oh wow.
special forces, like, probably the most, like, badass human that I have had the pleasure of training with. Like, I'm like, we're riding at 10 and like 9:52 rolls around and he's already at my house. I'm like, "Ah, I need to tell you we ride at 10:10." He has it too, and he actually has the beep on as well,
Oh yeah.
which is, I turn it off just because normally I have headphones in anyways, but sometimes just hearing that beep, it just gives you another safety feature of like, okay, one beep, it means you have cars coming, and then it won't beep until there's no more cars coming. So you get an initial beep, silence, and then another beep at the end once it all clears up. And sometimes when I'm doing training behind him or he's behind me, like, I hear his beep because his radar will pick it up before I do. So I'm like, okay, I know there's a car coming, so I need to, like, start moving over to the shoulder. Or when we do, I'm not sure if you've been in Tucson, but on Saturday there's like a massive ride called
Hmm.
the Tucson Shootout, and you could have 150 people. And it's
Wow.
amazing how the head unit knows this is a person versus this is a vehicle. And like, I can be in the middle of the pack, completely covered by people, and get an alert, like when a
Huh.
car is coming as well through the massive peloton. So even in a group scenario, like, it is able to tell you, like, hey, there's a car coming. So it's super
Yeah.
cool. And I think it's, from a safety aspect, is probably one of the biggest investments you can make on the bike for sure.
Nice. Yeah, for sure. No, it's the first thing I tell people, after they've gotten their full setup is like, just one more thing to kind of round out the kit. It's nice to have. We're heading into Unbound here in the next, well, we're about what, 2 months out, a little bit less than that. What are you
Yeah.
looking forward to when you get to Emporia? You know, what's something special that when you get there that you like to go and do?
Oh, well, I've only been there once,
Well, yeah, that's true.
which is just last year, and we were our Airbnb last year because we kind of signed up a bit late. We had this little house out in the prairie lands, like, I don't know, we were maybe a 45-minute drive from Emporia,
Uh,
which was kind of crazy because we just didn't spend time in Emporia. Like
right,
we would ride out of our house and then we would like with Russell, we like to pre-drive gravel races because you can't ride 100, 200 miles. So we
right,
always have the truck and we'll drive the course. So we would, like drive the first, the second 100 miles and then go do packet pickup and then drive the other half or like split it up in a way that we could do some course recon because we were really in the middle of nowhere. This year we got our housing like I think 3 months ago. So we were so
nice.
prepared. Shout out to Chris Mathis, our mechanic. He kind of booked everything for the year. We're a lot closer to town, so I'm just, excited just to get more of that like race vibe going and just
Yeah,
seeing really what Emporia is. Yeah, no, I'm just excited to kind of get a bit more of what Emporia is about and just be able to, hang out a bit more after the race just to be
yeah.
close to that start line.
Okay, last question. Is it going to be muddy or not this year?
Mhm. I hope it's just the same as last year.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. The course isn't released, but I've definitely lurked on what you guys did over the gravel camp.
hmm
So it looks like we might go a bit north and then go south or just south. I mean, who knows what the route is going to be, but yeah, I'm excited to see what changes they do.
hmm
And for me, May is kind of the month that I really just hone in on my preparation for Unbound and equipment and the bike I'm riding. I can ride the Crux or the Diverge STR, and yeah, I have some pretty big decisions to make here in the next couple of weeks of what
Right.
setup I want to do, and yeah, but a little bit of rain, I think it's good because it keeps the temperature down rather than it being just like a
Yeah.
hundred degrees for 10 plus hours.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'd take the cold and the mud over the hot and wind for sure, but
Yeah,
we'll find out, I'm sure, soon enough. So
yeah,
great. Well, thank you so much for joining us here at the Garmin Gravel School, and thanks for sharing a little bit about the Varia as well. And thanks for everybody for joining us here. So I'm Kristen Legan here with Sophia, and yeah, thanks. We'll see you guys next time.
cool. Thank you.